Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Selena from Wholeness Campaign. In today's video, I'm going to take you through my weekly routine that has been pretty much across the board standard for the last 5.5 years of making meat stock. This has been the most important part of my gut healing journey, and it's honestly something that is so easy that really anybody could do and see improvements pretty quickly in their gut health and their autoimmune health and all sorts of different areas of your body. So I'm going to take you through my process. I also want to touch on some questions. I've gotten some really good questions lately about meat stock and the timeline of healing and what to expect. Some people ask how long it takes to heal leaky gut, what time of day should I drink it if it makes me more lethargic later in the afternoon, and how long does it take to heal your gut with meat stock? 30 to 90 days. It's not something as simple as that. I'll be pretty upfront about that, but it is something that's really important to include if you're looking ahead at long-term health. So let's jump in. I will take you guys downstairs. Where we've got lots of random stuff because we just got our basement redone, but along with all these boxes that are here for storage because we might be moving soon, I want to show you my deep freeze, which has not a ton of stuff in it right now, but I'll show you what I'm going to be using for meat stock this time. I usually get these big boxes of Mary's chicken backs, necks, chicken carcasses, chicken feet. I get it off of Azure Standard, and it makes it very affordable. It is not fully pasture-raised meat. It has been supplemented with some stuff that's not super ideal, but I found that I get really great healing benefits from it, no matter what. So this is a last bag from when I bagged up my last box of that. So I'm going to use that up, and I also have some extra stuff upstairs. So we won't need to dig into that big box today, but that is usually what I use. Okay, so this is the stock pot that I typically use. It is a 4-gallon stock pot, so I usually will make 2 to 3 gallons per batch, and especially in the deeper phases of healing, this will last us a lot longer, so I'm not having to make it every single day. And I have it down to a science to where it doesn't take very long, but I'm going to include this inside of it. I'm also just going to pull out some extra ribs that we have kind of collected over some time. This is a chicken carcass from when we had like a whole chicken several days ago. I also have some chicken feet that I will dip into. And actually, we've been saving these for quite a while, so I'm gonna get these used up. These are chicken wings, so when we do chicken wing night, it's delicious if you broil them in the oven. But I'm just gonna eventually put all this stuff inside. I'm gonna show you the recipe that I do. It's the recipe that I have in my $17 meat stock mini course, so it's very affordable if you need to learn the step-by-step. I go through a lot more detail in that course, as well as I answer some frequently asked questions that won't be mentioned here in this video. They're just tons of deep nitty-gritty questions that most people ask me, how to make it low histamine, all of that. But I'm gonna put all of this in. I'm only gonna use 2 of these chicken feet, so I'm not using tons. But if you are having trouble making your meat stock gelatinous, this is what you wanna increase more of. And I don't have any onion, so I'm gonna tell you the things that I use to make my meat stock taste good, despite not having any onion. I'm gonna put about this much peppercorns in. I'm just spicing it now. I don't have to think about it. I've got my salt, and for 3 gallons, I'm gonna put about 3 heaping tablespoons of salt. I'll add in maybe a teaspoon to a tablespoon of thyme, oregano, same thing. Grab some garlic, and for this, I make it very easy. I'm just gonna chop it literally in half. Yes, don't even use a cutting board, you guys, because honestly, we're not trying to overcomplicate this process. Sharp knife does help. Okay, literally, I'm just going to take this. It's been cut enough, and I throw the whole thing in, because it's all gonna get strained in the end, so there's nothing to worry about. You don't have to make it perfect. It takes less time that way. So I get a lot of my spices in bulk from Azure Standard. This is one of them. This will last maybe forever, honestly. I'll put, 1.5 bay leaves inside of there. These leaves are really good. They're amazing for flavor, but they also have tons of nutritional properties. I'll show you what we've got here. You can see just all the herbs that make the meat stock taste so amazing. So I'm gonna get the water going. You'll see here I've got my Berkey that has Barreau filters, which I actually have been digging a little deeper into it, and I really do love that company too, as much as I love Berkey. I've gotten some questions like, is Berkey actually as reputable? People doubting how good they are, and honestly, I don't think any company is gonna be perfect, and I am choosing to go with it. Not blindly, of course. I'm choosing that because I know that it is really one of the best, and I've done a lot of research on it. So another thing I love about this is that we're not wasting nutrients. Like, we're able to actually eat the whole animal, and like all the bones that we've been eating over the last several weeks, they don't go to waste. Oh my goodness, making a mess. I find that I'm telling my toddler not to make messes all the time, and I just I end up making worse messes. Okay, so I'm gonna let this kind of start flowing. As you can see, it's just gonna start filling up this stock pot. It's gonna take a while. Probably gonna need to fill this sucker up afterwards. Doesn't sound right. Okay, so this is gonna take some time because my Berkey drains when it drains and I didn't fill it up before. So that's a pro tip. Make sure that it's actually full first. But anyway, this is pretty much it. I put all the herbs in. I put the chicken carcasses in. I have a little bit of pork bones in there. It's all going to cook for around 2.5 hours on the stove. 2 to 2.5 hours. I will bring it to a boil and then start that 2.5 hour long timer. And that's really as easy as it gets. As I said, if you're interested in learning more, you can grab my $17 meat stock mini course where I go through some of the most important aspects of making meat stock, how to make it correctly, how to make sure we're doing all the steps right, getting the right cuts of meat, and making it so your body can tolerate. But for now, I want to touch on some of the questions that I got, really common questions. I don't know which video kind of popped off, and I got this question a lot in it, but it was about meat stock. It was a meat stock short, and people were asking how long does it take to heal leaky gut? 30 to 90 days, how long does it take to heal? And honestly, it's going to depend a lot on your situation. It's going to depend on all the symptoms that you have, the severity of your leaky gut. I definitely don't recommend testing for leaky gut because, as we know, these tests don't give us the fullest picture. But what I will say is that 30 to 90 days is probably not enough. It's not going to be a quick fix, and that's actually a good thing. You don't want another health fad quick fix. If you're interested in that, that's not what I'm about here on my channel. I'm about getting people long-term results that actually last. This means it's going to take much more time. It's going to take much more intentionality. This means that it's not going to be a 30-day whole 30, fast for a week and you're good. It really means that we need to take the time, give our bodies the time, and get to the root of our chronic symptoms slowly, very slowly, using food first. And that process takes time. For me, it took around 2.5 years for me to feel like I was at the point where I could say confidently, like, I don't have any more symptoms. I've started out with a whole lot of things. It might take less time for you, more time for you. I tend to think with leaky gut that when you're using the right tools like meat stock, if it's made correctly, you're going to expedite your healing process so much, way faster than any supplement ever could. And so really, this is the only option that's going to be long lasting and is going to actually get to the root of it and is going to give you real results that supplements truly cannot do. Somebody asked what time of day to drink it at because it makes them lethargic the further on in the day that they have it. And I would just say work with whatever your body is doing. Something about meat stock is that it can cause these sort of die-off symptoms, meaning that it can make your symptoms temporarily worse. So this lethargic feeling you're experiencing very well could be a die-off symptom. I don't know what you're going through or what the specifics of your conditions are, but it is very common for people to get lethargic when they drink meat stock, especially in the beginning of their healing process. When I started meat stock, I remember we jumped full on in. It was like an entire weekend of only drinking meat stock, stage 1 of the GAPS diet. And we slept 17-hour days. We just slept and slept and slept and slept because our body was doing so much healing. And so I would encourage you to lean into that. Obviously, if it makes you more lethargic to have in the evening, I would have it in the morning. And if it's really interfering with your daily function, just move it around. I've had some people say that the meat stock gives them some die off that is a little bit uncomfortable to deal with during the day. But if they have it at night, they just don't even notice it. And then they wake up feeling energized and refreshed. So for them, I would say drink it before bed. For me personally, it didn't really matter when I was consuming it, but I know that this is a thing that people do experience. So I would say drink it when it is the most convenient for you to be having that much. Some people drinking it before bed, you're going to end up, being up all night having to pee because of the amount of liquids. So just do what works for you. Everybody's going to be different. There's no right or wrong here, but this is a long-term game. And especially when I'm telling you that I've been doing this meat stock game for around 5.5 years, you're probably wondering, well, why do you have to keep doing this? And for me, it's not a question of do I have to keep doing it, but I really am choosing to do it because I know that it keeps my health as resilient as possible. It's literally addressing probably one of the most important root cause issues that cause any sort of chronic disease in your body. And so I personally continue to have it, not just because of the health benefits I experience. I mean, I'm getting tons of minerals and nutrients, and I'm also not wasting all the carcasses of my animals, but also because I've basically checked a box for one of the most important aspects of my health. By continuing to have it beyond the time that I really need it, I'm being a lot more proactive about my health, which is what I encourage everybody to do. Even if it means that 10 years down the line, you're still having meat stock and it's still a weekly part of your routine, that's actually what I recommend. I'm never interested in getting somebody onto a protocol just for a short period of time and then you jump off. My goal would be that this becomes a rhythm in your life that, oh, I have chicken bones and leftover. I'm going to put them in the freezer and we're going to make some meat stock out of it at some point soon. Or like this is a weekly thing. Maybe it's not a daily thing for the rest of your life, but it's something that you have in your rhythm that keeps you well. And that's something that's very different than most of what people come to me asking for. They're asking for the quick fix. They're asking for how fast can I get this healed? How long do I have to have meat stock? And really, that's not even the question for me. For me, I'm more interested in how do I stay healthy long term? What are the tools that I need in my tool belt? How do I make this correctly so I can get symptom free as fast as possible? But I also don't want to just ditch out on these tools that are really going to secure my lifelong health just because I am feeling better and I don't necessarily need to anymore. So I still have it a part of my rhythm. I don't have to have it every day like I used to. I don't depend on it to feel well, but it is something that it pretty much is a non-negotiable in our week because I just like it. I feel like we all feel really good and nourished when we have it. I'm trying to nourish a baby and a growing toddler, and it's important that I'm giving them the best. And I really think this is one of the best, cheapest, easiest things you can do once you kind of get into the rhythm of it. Okay, I do have a couple slots open and available for December in my gut health intensive. It is my 6-week long program. My 6-week program is really going to take you into a deep dive of healing your gut, getting to the root of leaky gut, rebalancing the microbiome, challenging the microbiome, and incorporating the most nutrient dense foods that are needed to really start your healing journey. You get 3 one-to-one sessions, unlimited access to me for questions over the course of the 6 weeks, as well as a couple of my courses. So you can check that out in the link in the description. I will leave it at the top. And I have 2 more slots open for December. So hop on it if you're interested and you really want to kickstart this new year in a positive, more productive, healthy direction. Okay, if you got any value on this video, like the video and subscribe to my channel. It's my passion to help people get to the root cause of their chronic symptoms, and I'm making new videos here every single week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.